Hey y'all. Welcome to the Corner Cauldron YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna try and fix this. It's a channel that we, dump our two podcasts that we do on onto here. One of them is which is Winging It, which is every other Monday. And then there is Corner Cauldron that we have, you know, uh, every other Monday as well. We switch back and forth. So I'm going to wait for some people to come on here. I don't think I just posted on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Um, I'm going to start with some of the people, maybe if you didn't go on to Monday night's episode of Which is Winging It with me and Jen, you didn't get to hear the topic. So we kind of discussed um, the doll Annabell and its tour that it is doing. If you are unfamiliar with the Annabell doll, let's just back it up a minute. Annabell was or is a Raggedy Ann doll that Lorraine and Ed Warren took from a case that they did. The doll is reportedly possessed by a spirit of a child. They said it was a child, but it's more like a demon, what we would consider a demon. Ed and Lorraine Warren had a museum. I'm sorry for the internet going in and out. Let's check. It's still running. Ed and Lorraine Warren became very famous by the mid late 60s into the early 80s, 90s with cases that they did regarding the paranormal. Ed and Lorraine Warren are from Connecticut in New England, and have been worldwide known. They would go to mostly evil or negative spirits, demonic cases, and whatever was the trigger object, they would take home or remove from the home after blessing the home and, you know, curtailing whatever spirits or entities were in the home. They would take that trigger object and take it back to their home in Connecticut. And there was a museum that they had built outside of their house, which had a great majority or housed all of the trigger objects, those that were a little nasty, those who they considered demonic or had spirits in it that were really nasty. If you saw my cat, that's Maven. Maven is my, I guess you can call her familiar. I guess you can call her that. She is my house cat. So getting back to what is going on regarding Annabell. Before we go any further, I would like to say thank you for your service to all of those men and women who are in the military. As we know, this is, if you live in America or if you have family that are in America, today or this weekend is our Memorial Day weekend. With that, while all of you are popping bottles, popping off fireworks, going to the beach, having picnics, eating hamburgers out on the grill, can we please take a moment and understand that what this holiday is actually about? This holiday is about the men and women who gave their lives or paid the ultimate price for our freedoms in this country. From the Revolutionary War to the Civil War to the War of 1812 to, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea. Please remember those who paid the ultimate price in order for us to stay free. And be able to express our feelings or our rights at this point. So it's not about the pop in the bottles. It's not about, hanging around and enjoying burgers, setting off fireworks and all the other BS. You can do that, but please, if you see a veteran or you know of a veteran, please do not forget to shake their hand, give them a salute, and thank them for their service. That would really mean a lot. And I don't think a lot of our older vets get that anymore. And are more I have to say, well, thank you. It was my pleasure. Some of them are even humble enough to say, oh, I didn't do nothing, really much of nothing. Yes, they did. They were willing to sacrifice themselves for us, So don't forget that. Now that I have gotten that out of the way, I'm surprised there is nobody in here in the chat. That makes me sad. I will be looking at my phone periodically in order to get everybody to pop on. So anyway, getting back to the story of Annabell. Annabell is on tour right now. Their son-in-law, Lorraine and Ed Warren, and Ryan Buell have decided to take Annabell on a road trip. And from what I hear, it is purportedly a world tour that they're taking her on. And I promised that I would give a schedule as to where Annabell is going to be. Jen and I talked about our own feelings with the Annabell doll, and neither of us were excited to hear that Annabell was on the road and the trail of destruction that she has led so far. I can tell you that I've looked on multiple websites, I've researched, and I can't seem to get an entire full schedule of where Annabell is going to be. It seems that most of the reports start with Annabell being in West Virginia. Annabell was in West Virginia. Then she went to New Orleans. And as far as I know, in New Orleans, things were popping off. I have not been able to find anything thus far about West Virginia, whether she created havoc in West Virginia or not. I haven't been able to find that yet. Of course, I didn't get time to research because I was out and about today. I was working at Pepperlee's Boutique in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. Had a fabulous time while I was there. Pepper is very nice. Julie, Gina, Marie, all of them are absolutely fabulous. So, any hoodles. We did find out that in New Orleans, Louisiana, while Annabell was there was a couple of strange happenings, which multitudes of us agreed that were due to Annabell. Like everything was fine till Annabell got there. Then the shit hit the damn fan. Okay, let's just call a spade a spade. The first thing that happened was I thought it was 3 people escaped a maximum security prison. Here to come find out, it was 10 people that escaped a maximum security prison. Reportedly, to my resources, they held one of the guards hostage and had him let them out or use a water system or something. sprinkler system, whatever have you. They escaped. As of today, 3 were caught, but there are 7 that remain on the loose. That's no good. Because from what I hear, all 7 of them or all 10 of them had rap sheets as long as my entire body and then some. Okay. So you still have 7 inmates out on the loose that are escaped. You had a mansion that I'm getting mixed information on. It was either the oldest or one of the oldest plantations, mansions that was in New Orleans, burnt completely to the ground. Then once the firefighters were able to put it out, apparently it reignited. You have reportedly a woman who bought a ticket to go see the Annabell doll because it is a ticketed event, and from what I hear, the tickets are $40 and upwards of whatever's. I have no interest to see Annabell. That's okay. I really have no interest in seeing her. I don't want to get near her. I don't want to be near her. And that's my personal preference. You may say that this is a bunch of hogwash, and that's great, dandy. Whatever you want to assume. You know what? If you do you, boo-boo. If that's what you want to do and you paid $40 a ticket to go see Annabell, good for you. Okay? Have the day you deserve. Whatever. There was reportedly, supposedly, apparently, a woman who paid $40 to, I guess, to go see Annabell. This woman then reportedly was screaming at the doll, was splashing holy water on it. She was escorted out, and 2 days later wound up dropping dead from a heart attack. It is again reported that this is what happened to the lady. I can't find any more information on it. Then Jen kind of like sent me a text message, or someone sent me a text message. I'm not sure. I can't remember whether it was Jen or not. Sent me a text message stating that, oh, Marie Laveau's house has also burnt down to the ground. So if you are familiar, who is Marie Laveau? Marie Laveau is only the mama, the queen of voodoo in New Orleans and the French Quarter. And she is world renowned. Like, everybody that has been to New Orleans has had to have heard about Mama Laveau or Marie Laveau. And she was the queen of voodoo. She did tarot, she did healing, she also cast hex, she made puppets, she did a lot of things. She was fortune telling, through bones, and was very into her spiritual practice of voodoo. And to say all voodoo is bad is a fallacy. Not all voodoo is bad. I mean, it depends on the practitioner and what they're trying to accomplish. So it's up to the person themselves on what they're calling down or what they're calling in, or who they're resurrecting, or who they're hexing. But it's also a lot of good. They bring in good fortune. They bless homes. They bring in money. They bring in abundance. There are fertility specialists, those who will help those who have been trying for a very long time to have a baby. All that good stuff. Down in history, it's been known that they've been on the darker side of things, which is fine. I mean, magic is balance. So you can have white, you can have dark magic. It all has to balance itself out. So with that being said, I can tell you that Marie Laveau's house did, in fact, burn down. Okay. However, it was on the 19th of this month that her house burnt down. Okay. By that time, Annabell had been long gone. She left, from what my resources are telling me, she left on the 15th. Okay. Doing my research, that is not the first time that Marie Laveau's house burnt down. Okay. The house was built in the late I want to say late 1800s, I believe. And that house burnt down the first time in 1908. That was the original house that Mama Laveau actually lived in and worked out of. That burnt down to the ground in 1908. The house that was rebuilt was built thereafter. From what my sources are telling me is that the house that just recently burnt down is a copy of the original house that Mama Laveau lived in. However, that house was built on the ashes and the burnt timbers and the burnt foundation of the original house in 1908 that, burnt down in 1908. There is some sketch right there. Why would you not clear off the foundation and rebuild from scratch? Why would you build on top of the ashes of the old house? Maybe it's because they were afraid. It is well known that Mama Laveau's spirit walks that French Quarter on the daily, and that she loved her home. Her home had many other spirits that lived within it, and she was comfortable with those spirits. She did her best work in that house. And maybe, I guess, maybe they were afraid to wind up having her seek retribution, maybe, if they had taken any of the ashes, or they had disposed of any of the ashes, any of the tinder, whatever was left behind, and they just covered it up and built another house. That is a great possibility. Now, I'm going to be here dispelling a lot of rumors, and I wish someone would come into the chat with me. That would be great if someone would come on into the chat and just be there with me for a moment. I'm going to start tagging people real quick and see if people would be willing to come into the live with me and hang out with me for a moment. I'm going to continue to tag people and see if they are willing to come in here with me. Just for a moment. I know Kathy Klimzak was getting ready to come into the chat with me as well. Um, changes. And we're just gonna keep tagging people as they come in to see if we can get everybody and anybody in here with me. Sure. Why don't we? Let me tag Carrie in here, but I don't think. Nah, I don't want to bother her. So we're just gonna keep it moving here. And talk about other stuff. I do want to dispel rumors at this point. Y'all got me twisted with things that are just, where are you getting your information from? Maybe if you guys did a little research at this point, you would understand more things and not be so quick to put stuff out there that has no bearing or no what do I want to say? No has no validity. Let's just put it this way. No validity. And I don't understand why people just don't pay attention and do research. Y'all got to be doing some serious research before you put things out on 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 the books of the face. It's posting. Okay, it posted. So you guys got to do some serious research. I'm here to dispel a lot of the rumors that have been started over the inters of the nets about Annabelle, okay, and about Marie Laveau and the difference between her and Delphine Lalaurie, okay, um, and the houses and whatnot, and the whole Annabelle issue. Um, I saw someone on TikTok. Sorry, I'm taking my shoes off. I saw someone on TikTok, you know, report that Annabelle is missing. Annabelle is not missing. I mean, there would be an entire worldwide search party looking for her if she, I'm sorry, baby. Um there would be a worldwide search party for that doll if it was missing. Annabelle is not missing. Stop saying that Annabelle is missing. She is on her way to San Antonio, Texas, if she is not already there, which was the next stop after after New Orleans. Okay, so she is not missing. Okay, stop saying she's missing. She's not missing. Oh, dear Lord, people. And then you got people on here stating that Marie Laveau and Madame Lalaurie or Delphine Lalaurie are the same people. No, they're not. No, they are not. Period. And that Ed and Lorraine took Annabelle on tour. This isn't the first time she's on tour. Yes, it is. Let's clear up a few things first. Mama Marie Laveau, or Madame Laveau, she was an African American. Or no, I shouldn't say African American. I believe she had some Trinidadian in her, some Islander in her as well. She was a brown woman. Okay. I believe she was mixed as well with some French, white in her as well. And Delphine Lalaurie was a white woman who created a house of horrors where she chained servants, slaves to radiators upstairs in the attic, where she had just an entire floor of torture. She tortured slaves that were in her possession or part of her property. Okay. Which is absolutely horrifying. Uh she would slice them in half. There were rumors of disemboweling, decapitating, uh SAing several slaves, not feeding them, whipping them, beating them, all forms of torture, uh, from A to Z. And then draining them of their blood and bathing in it and brushing it on her body, like her face, because she says that the blood of the slaves made her stay young and beautiful, which is a downright lie. And the only reason they found her house of horrors was when it actually caught on fire. And I believe there was a young slave girl who was chained to a radiator upstairs. They heard her screaming. And I think very few, but a few slaves managed to escape. But Delphine Lalaurie wound up escaping. And they last reported her in France, I believe. Jackie Thursday says, "Hey Jackie, thank you for subscribing to my Facebook page or to my YouTube page. Really appreciate it, honey." She led a house of horrors. That is the exact opposite of Mama Marie Laveau. Hey Jackie. That is the exact opposite. So no, Delphine Lalaurie and Mama Marie Laveau are not the same people. They're not even on the same. They're not even on the same block. They're both in New Orleans, but the mansion is in one place, and Marie Laveau's house is in another section. So I don't know where you talking about Delphine Lalaurie and Mama Laveau, the queen of voodoo, are one and the same person. Get your facts straight, please. Before you go spouting shit on the internet, maybe you should do some research. Okay? Yeah. While it is reported that there were servants, or I don't want to say, maybe there were slaves, enslaved people who built Mama Marie Laveau's house, she did not oversee the construction of her house. She wasn't there saying, "Move, slave. You need to put that window up a little bit higher, or I'm going to beat you." No, she was not in the business of overseeing the construction of her house. It is very possible that during that time period, yes, the contractors or whoever was in charge of the build actually did use some servants. They call them servants, slaves. It is very possible. I'm not going to put anything past that, because that's all the research that I did. That is the research. When I looked up the research, that's what it said. Okay. So you getting someone up who is brown herself, mixed up with some horrifying female who decided that she was going to create a house of horrors First of all, slavery is horrifying in itself. Not only is it horrifying, but then you're going to turn around and you're going to torture all those slaves, disembowel them, behead them, draw and quarter them. Then you're going to drain them of their blood and you're going to bathe in their blood because apparently it kept you beautiful. Bitch, bye. Okay. Just bye on that. All right. What is a shame is that Delphine Lalaurie never got her just desserts. Right? That those poor people, because that's what they were, people, they put their pants on one leg at a time. They couldn't help it that they were brown skinned. They can't help that people took them from their homes and enslaved them, brought them half the world across the country or across the world, and dropped them off in a foreign country, and then enslaved them. They couldn't help that. That's not their fault. So do not get it twisted, because you are now desecrating the memory of Mama Marie Laveau. And I will always stand behind her 100%. You can't tell me that someone needs to stand by someone who is just a torturous, evil woman like Lalaurie. All right. So, getting back to the timeline. Yes. The mansion, one of it, like I said, I couldn't find more information. It didn't tell me that if it was the Louisiana's oldest mansion, or whether it was one of the oldest mansion plantations that was used as a plantation, burnt to the ground. You have 10 maximum security prisoners that escaped, threatening a guard's life. 3 of those 10 have been found. So you still got now 7 on the loose. You got a woman that reportedly bought a ticket to go see Annabell and wind up cursing at it, going into a fit of rage, and spraying holy water on the case. And then 2 days later, wound up dying of a heart attack suddenly. So I cannot, with good conscience, tell you that the burning or the burning down of Madame Laveau's house, or Mama Laveau's house, was caused by Annabell. Okay. According to the police reports and the fire reports, it burnt down due to electrical issues. Now remember, if you're just jumping on here, that was not the first time that Madame Laveau's or Mama Laveau's house, Marie Laveau's house, burnt down. It burnt down in 1908. That was the original house that burnt down in 1908. I cannot tell you what it burned down from. I can't tell you whether it was a freak accident or someone set the house on fire. I can tell you that they did not remove any of the ashes of the old house or any of the burnt timber. They just built on top of it. Now, whether they did that because they were in fear that they would suffer repercussions due to Marie Laveau's spirit being around that house, or what it was, I can't tell you that. I really can't. Okay. Another thing is, stop saying Annabell's missing. She ain't missing. She is not missing. Stop it. Stop it. Do your work. Do your homework before you start posting shite on the inners of the nets and causing people to live in fear, or wind up having heart attacks and be, oh my god, then it spreads like wildfire. Do you notice anywhere that the more the more lies that you spread on the internet, the faster it goes, the faster it gets spread. And the truth just seems to just sit there. You know what I mean? So, getting back to the traveling of said Annabelle doll. And if you don't know what Annabelle is, I did describe it at the top of this video. Um, you've been living in a vacuum. Are you living under a rock? Have you been living as a hermit? Annabelle was I believe one of the first cases that when Ed and Lorraine got famous. One of the first cases that they did where it was haunting, I believe, two nurses. One of the nurses was given the Raggedy Ann doll, uh, you know, as a gift from an antique shop. I believe it was in the window of an antique shop, or it was in a shop somewhere. And one of the mothers of one of the nurses gave it to her as a gift. And then it start going all kinds of cattywampus and pear-shaped and sideways, that they wound up having to call Ed and Lorraine Warren to do an investigation to have the doll removed. That is not the first time Annabelle has wreaked havoc. If you've seen any like the Annabelle movie or the Annabelle movies, you will learn that it started a long time prior to that, where a woman went crazy, and it reportedly was, and the Annabelle doll was possessed by a 7-year-old little girl. I I doubt that. I think it was possessed by someone who was very evil. hmm Whether it is demonic or not, to me, still is up in the air. I'm easing on over to the demonic. I don't know. Uh, do I have a desire to say it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I've seen pictures of it. That's enough for me. Uh, you know, that is, and then it was reported uh, to be driven or taken by Ed and Lorraine Warren to be in their museum that was in operation for years prior to Ed and Lorraine's passing. Ed passed first, and then Lorraine died. I believe in 2019. I'm not sure on that, but I think it's 2019 when she passed away. And uh, they were very explicit on the instructions for Annabelle. That Annabelle, under no circumstances, was to be removed from the museum, removed from her case unless it was to repair the case. And with that, it would have to be supervised by a priest. Now, I know that that case was taken care of, and she was taken out of it in order to repair the case, set her up in a new one at one time, um, which a priest was present for that. Now, I know that Ed and Lorraine never really shied away from anything that was demonic or was evil, so to speak, negative. I did see a couple of interviews with Lorraine that was inside the museum. Okay. I'm going to tell you that according to Lorraine, during those interviews, she stated from her mouth that she would not even look into the doll's eyes. She didn't entertain it. She didn't talk to it. She wouldn't look at it. She wouldn't touch it. She was never present when it was repaired, when the case had to be repaired, or when she had to be taken out of the case with no other option, that She would not look at the doll. She wouldn't conversate with the doll. She wouldn't talk to the doll. None of that. That if you looked into its eyes, that it would start talking to you. And eyes are the windows to the soul. So that is very much something that she believed. And she refused to have any parts of that doll. And I know on her deathbed, she once again made the comment that Annabell was not to leave the confines of the museum at any cost or any time. Where is she now? On the frickin' road, being toted around like some kind of freak show. Well, you know what? Good on you to the people who are traveling with her. You have the day you deserve. And you will reap what you have sown. That is just my personal opinion. It is a free country. Apparently, I'm allowed to make my own decisions. I'm allowed to make my own comments on my own channel. That's fine. I have the day you deserve. Because whatever befalls you, you deserve it. You deserve that because you went against Lorraine and Ed's, warning to not move that frickin' doll. How many times has somebody got to tell you to not move the frickin' doll? You up here acting like jackasses. No, look, and you do all money. All money. Money, 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 money. It's for the cheddar. You know what? You couldn't pay me $1 million to go against Ed and Lorraine and to take that out of their museum. Not only have they taken the Annabell doll, it is now a whole menagerie of shit that's out of that museum and on the road with Annabell. Now, there is someone else or a group of people. I can't just say one person. There is a group of people who are saying on social media that this is not the first time that Annabell has been on tour. That Ed and Lorraine themselves took her on tour. That is false. That is false. While Ed and Lorraine have been reported to travel with the doll in hand, which is true, they did not take this doll or this demonic-ish on tour, taking it across hither and yon in the country. When there are no hard facts, there is not one bit of evidence that they took that doll on tour. Period. They traveled with the doll. Traveling means taking it from the home of wherever it was and saying, I've done your case, give me this thing because this thing is just going to cause you more problems. I'm going to take it. And taking it back to Connecticut. That is what the word travel means. That is what the word travel means. Travel and tour are two different things. I can't find one shred of evidence that supports the fact that Ed and Lorraine took this doll on tour. Period. All day yesterday and all day today, while I was not busy this morning, as I was at work today, and this morning, I searched up and down. Couldn't find one bit of rock hard evidence that they toured with this doll. Now, if Ed and Lorraine are witness to the road of chaos and destruction that this doll has left, why on God's green earth would they take it on tour? Be honest. Let's just be honest. Here we go with the tour dates. Okay. It is reported. Now, again, you watched the top of this video. You watched me say that all my research that I've done, I could not find a complete, from the very beginning to the very end, tour, a schedule of this doll. Okay, of Annabell. What I did get, if that is the direct route to where they're taking this doll, where Tony and Ryan are taking Annabell, it is like hither and yon. There is no straight rhyme or reason to where they're taking this doll, because it went from Connecticut to West Virginia. From West Virginia, it went to New Orleans. From New Orleans, where it left its road of chaos, the stuffed serpent, it is on its way, or it is already in San Antonio, Texas. From San Antonio, Texas, I believe it is scheduled to go to Gettysburg. It will be in Gettysburg from July 11th until July 13th. Okay. And then it is going to Chicago, Illinois. And then I believe there is reports that it's going to Oklahoma. So figure that out. I don't understand. Wouldn't you want to take the path of least resistance and go in a straight damn line? Unless they're trying to throw people off the scent of where this doll's going to be next, and in hopes that nobody steals it. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. That makes a gigantic knot. If you draw a line going from hither and yon to where it's been, where it's going, it's a gigantic knot. Going over here, then up here, then down here, and over there, and up here. And that makes absolutely no sense. And again, I'm not saying that what I'm saying is 100% correct, because I could not find a full schedule, like from top to bottom. It started here, and now it's going here, and it's going to end over there. No. And it is also reported that, yes, Annabell will make an appearance in Washington, D.C. If it isn't that we already have enough Jumanji going on, let's just bring the doll to Washington, D.C. Why don't you? I'm going to keep my comments to myself, because I always did say this YouTube channel would not be political, and it's not going to be. Those of you who know me know what my wishes are. That if indeed it is going to Washington, D.C., you can make up your own mind if you've known me long enough. Jackie, my sister from another mister, her and I share brain cells. You know what I'm talking about, Missy. So figure it out, make it make sense. It is also reported that while on tour, she will be on tour in haunted locations. Again, someone make this make sense. You know my love for Gettysburg. Most of you do who know me know my love of Gettysburg. Uh, I fell in love with its history, its haunted history, everything about it, from the history to the people as of today, the historic locations, the haunts, so much so that I joined the Time Travelers. I love getting dressed up and representing those women that walked in history. One of my outfits, I represent someone as a field nurse. I don't think the field nurses got their just desserts. I don't think they ever got notarized or notified. Listen to me, notarized, notified. This dog got me all talking crazy. Got the validation that they deserved. A lot of them died with no notoriety, no names, um, and yet these are women who put their life on the line, that just packed up all they had that they could carry in a carpet bag and said, "Yup, I feel like I need to do something for our cause." Whether on both sides, it didn't matter. At the very end, it didn't matter whether they were wearing a gray coat or a blue coat. It was a human being, and they were suffering. Even if it was to ease their pain by leaning over their body as they were dying and holding their hand, letting them know that they weren't going to die alone, or praying with them while they passed. And I'm sure that weighed heavy on them, because their purpose was to help save lives, not to watch it slip through their fingers. You know, to the women who bound their breasts, went and enlisted, as men, because back then a lot of them didn't have birth certificates. They were born at home. Uh, their um their name and everything, their birth certificate was the back page of the family Bible, uh, in a family tree. That's all they had. They didn't have social security numbers. They didn't have birth certificates. Very few were born in a hospital. A lot of them were birthed at home, in the family home. And the date and the time, I don't even think it was a time. Some people are going to FA and FO. You got that right, girlfriend. Yes, my sister from another minister. Chick, they you going FA, FO. What about this Annabell doll? Why? Of all places, now I have been in the orphanage. She's going to be in the orphanage. If those of you who are watching this want to get a ticket to see Annabell in the orphanage, you're SOL. Shit out of luck. I heard that within hours, the tickets were sold out. So there is no chance of you getting in. If you haven't gotten a ticket by now or didn't purchase a ticket right away, you're not going to be able to do that. This doll is in high demand. I do believe, Jackie, you are correct. The people who are traveling or decided to do this to this doll, they're going to FAFO real quick. They're going to FAFO real quick. If you FA with something that you do not understand, do not, under any circumstances, be playing with it. You are playing with something that you do not understand and that you will never understand. You and that other buffoon you got, and I'm not going to say no names, You know exactly who I'm talking about. Had his own TV show. Yep. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. I too drank the Kool-Aid many, many years ago with this one. And I'm ashamed of it now. Again, personal opinion. You know? But you two are just, do you have two brain cells to rub together? Really? Are you tempting fate? Do you like tempting fate? Do you like having the welfare of other people in your hands? Now, when she's in Gettysburg, you won't. I won't. I live 100 and some miles away. Don't tell me I don't, because I counted, and my little OnStar lady gave me the numbers. I'm 100 and some 20 some miles away from Gettysburg. As much as I love that city, and take great pride in putting on those costumes, and just think it's full of such great people. It really, really is. The amount of people that I've made friends with that live there. Talk about the tour guides that take you to the orphanage. Christine and Tom, two of the best tour guides you will ever have if you do a tour of the orphanage, of the Gettysburg Orphanage, or Homestead as it was called once before. They do an amazing job. Christine does a great representation of Rosa Carmichael. In her little black dress and her little attitude hat. And she makes the tour interesting. They both do. They make it fun. They have always been warm and welcoming from the first time that I met Tom. Where's that lady with the put it back? Oh, you mean, Curvy Black Witch. My Curvy Black Witch. I love her. The one that speaks with a Jamaican accent. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Why are you going around messing with shit you don't know anything about? Put it back. I don't care how many years you've been around it. I don't care. I don't care. Why are you messing with something that is not yours? Put it back where it belongs. I'm being serious about that. Getting back to Gettysburg, it's 120 some miles from me. You won't touch you will not catch me within 100 miles of that place come July 11th through the 13th. I will not be witness to the Jumanji that is going to happen. You have got a haunted orphanage. You've got a nasty ass governess named Rosa Carmichael. Her spirit is still there. The children who are scared out of their minds and can't rest because she keeps them there. And some other nasties that are going on, and then you're going to add that. Just keep on adding gasoline to the fire. All right, keep just taking her to haunted attractions that's already haunted and already got bad juju on it. You're just gonna add more to it. Hey, Jay White, how are you, honey bunny? It is very sad. It is very, very, very sad that two people that we all expected more of had more brain cells. We thought had more brain cells, but apparently don't. Really? Like my sister from another Mr. Jackie said, you want FAFO. And when you do, have the day you deserve. Okay? So we're dispelling a lot of things tonight on here. We dispelled already that that I can't even talk tonight. Marie Laveau and Madame Delphine Lalaurie are not the same people. Don't get it twisted. Please do not desecrate the spirit of the voodoo queen, Mama Marie Laveau, by saying she is one and the same with that nasty ass woman, Delphine Lalaurie. Mama Laveau was a product of slaves. Do not say that she is one and the same with that slave killer. Slavery is wrong to begin with. Whether you black, white, brown, red, yellow, slavery is wrong. They're people. They're people with real feelings. Again, they could not help it that they were captured and taken out of their homeland. Loaded up on a ship with shackles around their hands and their feet, sent halfway around the world to a country that they are unfamiliar with, and then just dumped, sold to the highest bidder into a lifetime of pain and servitude. I cannot stand that fact that people were slaves, and then for her to buy them and torture them in an upstairs room that was a hall of horrors, disemboweling them, chopping their head off, essaying, treating them like dogs, and then, exsanguinating them, which sang means blood. Exsanguinate means to bleed them out, and bathe in their blood because it keeps you beautiful and young. What kind of sick ass shit is that? You got problems. And yet to escape after authorities find it because of a fire in your home. And I am not for certain that the one girl that was chained to the radiator was who they found alive, who told the stories of, and then there was evidence after of the torture that they went through. Do not get it twisted. That is a disrespectful thing to say about Mama Marie Laveau to the voodoo queen. They are not one and the same. I cannot, without a clear conscience, say that the burning down of Marie Laveau's house on the 19th of this month was caused by Annabell being there. Annabell left the 15th from New Orleans on her way to San Antonio, Texas. That was 4 days after she had been gone out of New Orleans, Louisiana. They do say that the reporters or the fire department and the police department say that the cause of the fire was electrical. So, but that was not the first fire that house has had. That house right there that burnt just recently on May 19th was a replica of the original house that burnt down in 1908. And then the mansion burned. Well, the mansion burning, I'm going to say that was Annabell. The mansion burning, the 10 convicts escaping from the maximum security prison, and the woman dying from a heart attack 2 days after she reportedly bought a ticket, was screaming at Annabell and throwing holy water on it. 2 days later, dropped dead of a heart attack, reportedly. Dropped dead of a heart attack. I have not yet have found any evidence that there was happenings or goings on in West Virginia when she was in West Virginia. Because it says that May 8th, she was in West Virginia. And a great majority of these places they're taking her to have haunted attractions, or she's going to be in a haunted attraction. I know she's at Scream Fest. I believe that's in Chicago, Illinois. That's going to be in October. She is scheduled to be in Oklahoma as well, and reportedly to be in Washington, D.C. So there you have it. It has been an hour and 5 minutes that I've been on here, spouting my theories about Annabell. And I'm sorry, but I think Ed and Lorraine are flipping in their dang graves. I really do. That doll was never to be removed. Nothing was to be taken out of that museum ever. They did have people that you could pay a ticket and go through the museum that they had in Connecticut in their house. But there was a priest. They hired a priest every day. There was the same priest, I believe. I want to say, I am not exactly sure, but I want to say that the priest lived on the property, because he would come in twice a day and say prayers and bless the inside of the museum, bless all the haunted objects that were in there, and keep it safe, or keep it sealed, religiously sealed or spiritually sealed. And you could actually buy a ticket and go and walk in the museum. However, you were never left alone. You were not allowed to touch anything or take anything out of that museum. There were signs everywhere. It said, do not touch, do not touch, do not touch, do not touch. They didn't want you touching anything, but they, I think, also wanted you to experience, because I think there were a lot of naysayers. There were a lot of naysayers about Ed and Lorraine. And there were people who said, oh, she was liar. They were liars because the movies are never exactly what happened on these cases. Of course they're not. I mean, you need to do research, people. The reason they put all these scare tactics into these movies and embellish in the movies is so that the movies will sell. Even my guy Travis from Fire in the Sky, the guy who was abducted in the 70s from Arizona, who was a lumberjack, who was missing for I don't know how many days. He was abducted by a UFO. And came back, or escaped, I guess, and then they dropped him off. He was dropped off naked, I think 7 days later, and he ran to a phone booth naked, trying to call his mom, and they had the police come pick him up. Everybody, there were witnesses to that. There were at least 7 people who witnessed the entire story, who witnessed him being shot back and then lifted up, and they all ran in the truck. They told Travis several times to get in the truck, and he wouldn't. And they did make a movie called Fire in the Sky, along with the book. And he was allowed to be there. According to his interview, he was allowed to be there during the filming of the movie and to look over the script. He himself said, but that's not how it happened. And he was told that they embellish in order to make money, to sell tickets. It's not that Ed and Lorraine were lying about anything. It's that the movies, they embellish to sell things. The whole Amityville Horror, There was a whole mix-up between the owners of the house, lawyers, book deals, this, that, and everything else, and I am pretty sure that both the movie and the book was embellished in order to sell, you know? That's the way they make money. An exorcism today is not The Exorcist, okay? Someone who is possessed does not look like Reagan. Does not spin its head around and spit pea soup and plead for the priest to essay her. No, that's not what happens in real life. If that's what you believe happens in real life, you got a problem. And that means you can't separate fiction from fact. And sure, they embellished. Sure, they did. They sold millions of dollars of tickets and book deals and all this other stuff. But that, when the movies were made, that does not mean that Ed and Lorraine ever lied about anything. Just because the spirits didn't come out and your grandpappy or your uncle, your aunt was a news reporter or sat in and nothing happened on that particular day that they were there, doesn't mean that that it didn't happen. They don't perform on command. It is what it is. I just happened to watch the interview with Janet Hodgson from the Enfield case from England. And you can really see how it affected her. Years later, it's still affecting her. What she lived through. I believe it was 824 Green Street in Enfield, Essex, England. Still affects them today. And this was in the 70s. This was in 1978, 76, 77, 78. So you're talking like 45 years later, it's still affecting people. And she still won't go in that house. She's walked past it multiple times and still gets an eerie feeling when she drives past it. She won't go in there. So y'all need to get your records straight. Do your research before you start putting shit on the internet. Because lies spread faster than the truth. It really, really does. And I don't know. I can't find any more information regarding a 100% from start to finish book or schedule of Annabell. Listen, am I telling you not to go? I would like you not to go to make sure that you stay safe. But you're going to do what you want to do anyway. You go, boo-boo. You spend that $40 or upwards of $40, $50 to go see Annabell. And you do you, boo-boo. I just know for myself personally, I will not be in line. I did not spend $40. I've seen the doll in photos. I've watched the interviews with Ed and Lorraine with that doll, being around the doll. I have no desire to say it, no desire to touch it, and no desire to be around it. And if you're going to be in Gettysburg from July 11th to July 13th, please be safe. Who knows? You got the whole city that's haunted. Who knows what's going to happen with this? All right. So that is the extra that I promised. I've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. You can still continue to make comments and like this video. If you liked it, you might want to peruse the other podcasts, our actual podcast that I've put on here. We come on every other Monday night. Last Monday was Witches Winging It with me and Jen Dodson, my sister, my witchy sister. And then every other Monday after that, it's switching off and on. We have Corner Cauldron, which is going to be on this Monday night with me and my brother from another mother, my WT, my wonder twin, Jim Spillin. 7 p.m. You can watch it here. You can watch it on my Facebook page. Or if you have downloaded StreamYard and you are a member of StreamYard, you can watch it there as well. So, you know what? It would really help me if you smash that like button with the thumbs up. Subscribe to the page. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not charging anything. It's not monetized. It's just me, being goofy. It's a whole bunch of random nonsense that's on here about the paranormal. You got one cooking video on here where I taught everyone how to make pot roast. There may be some more cooking videos on here. I don't know. Whenever I feel the need to do something, I do it. And it goes on here. This is mostly paranormal. So smash that like button, please, before you leave. Subscribe to the page. It helps me out a lot. And don't forget, every Monday at 7 p.m., all my Facebooks of the Books of the Face page with this mug on the picture, or on the YouTube channel, or on StreamYard, if you're a member, you will either have Witches Winging It with me and my sister from another mister, my witchy poos. A bunch of randomness we talk about because we're winging it. Two witches winging it. Witches winging it with me and Jen Dodson. And then every other Monday with Corner Cauldron with me and my brother from another mother, my WT, my wonder twin. This Monday, which is the holiday, we will be talking about Druida House. If you know what a Druida House is, be ready to be horrified. I'm just gonna say, be ready to be horrified. You know what I mean? And take notes, because this right here, this subject is disrespectful, just downright terrifying, and just when I thought I was gonna have enough or be done with this, Drew the house more ish popped up, and I was more horrified than I was originally. So yeah. Don't forget, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook page, or here on the YouTube channel, or on StreamYard. We will have this Monday coming, Corner Cauldron with me and Jim Spillin. Be prepared. It's going to be horrifying, but you might want to watch. All right? Please smash the likey button. Oh, I got one person to smash the likey button. Thank you. And if you see this after, smash the like button anyway. I mean, you're going to help me out. Subscribe. All right, y'all. As I always say, love you all. Love, light, and blessings to all of you. Have a safe holiday weekend. Don't be doing something stupid. Don't FA and FO, please. Hug a vet. Remember, while you're eating the burger, swimming in the ocean, enjoying the sun, doing the boardwalk thing, watching the fireworks, eating burgers and dogs, that this holiday, you must remember the vets that did not come home. And that's why we have a Memorial Day. And if you see a vet, please shake their hand, give them a hug, and say, thank you for your service. Oh, love you too, chick. Mwah! I love you, chick. Love you too, Jay. All right, everybody. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye.